music, because that's what we do. The soul of freedom. Luke Stewart, Devin Waldman, Jaimie Branch. Thank you. Enjoy.
I feel lately, driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Gotta hold on. Gotta use my imagination to get out of this bad situation.
Where I feel lately, it's driving me crazy. Hold on. 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 Where I feel lately is driving me crazy. Hold on. Hold on.
Be strong. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Gotta use my imagination.
Get out of this bad situation.
You gotta use my imagination. Trying to make the best of a bad situation.
But the way I'm feeling lately is driving me crazy.
Ooh. Where I feel lately is driving me crazy.
Driving me crazy.
Driving me crazy. Yeah. You are on my mind. 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 You are on my mind.
driving me crazy. Way I feel, driving me crazy. Driving me crazy.
You are on my mind. You. Too. You are on my mind. You are on my mind. You are on my mind. You are on my mind.
driving me crazy.
Oh, cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Oh, that day. Oh. Oh, on that day, where you gonna run to? On that day. Under the rock. Please help me rock. Don't you see I need you rock? Oh, on that day. Rock. Don't you see I need you rock? On that
The devil's waiting. The devil is waiting. The devil is waiting. When you run to the devil is waiting. The devil is waiting. When you run to the devil,
where you
the
gonna
devil
run
is waiting. When you run to the devil is waiting.
Where you gonna run to?
Where you gonna run? Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go?
On that
When you run to the devil is waiting. Back to the Lord. Lord, wants to find me, Lord.
Don't you see that I need you, Lord?
Run to the devil. Run to the devil. The devil is waiting. Yeah, I need you.
Don't you see that I need you? Don't you see that I need you?
Need you.
Rock.
I need you.
Ran to the devil. to now? I said, where you gonna run to? Please help me. Where you gonna run to? Rock. Now run. Please help me, Lord. Don't you see that I need you, Lord? Oh,
help me try to make the best out of this. This bad situation.
Don't you see that I need you, rock? Where you gonna run
But in
to?
order, I got to use my imagination.
Trying to make a best of a bad situation.
So I can
Where you gonna
make
run
the best
to?
out of this
Whoa.
bad situation.
Where you gonna run to?
Just trying to keep on keeping on. Because you're trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Got to use our imagination.
Crazy.
Get the best out of this bad situation. Gotta keep on keeping. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Got to use my imagination. To get out of this bad situation. Bad situation.
Best of a bad situation. It's driving me crazy.
Gotta use my imagination in order to get out of this bad situation.
Bad
situation.
Yeah. Bad
Got to use my imagination.
Make the best of bad situation. Really got to use my imagination. Trying to make the best of bad situation. Really got to use
That's right.
Bad situation. Really got to use my imagination. Trying to make the best of the best of the best of the best
Situation. Really got to use
my imagination. Trying to make the best of my imagination.
Come on.
You really got to use, this bad situation, trying to make the best of bad situation. You really got to use my imagination. Trying to make the best of bad situation. Really got to use my imagination.
Really got to use the best of my imagination.
Really gotta use.
Really got to use my
Really gotta
imagination
use. Really.
to make the best out of this bad situation. Really got to use my imagination.
Trying to make the best of bad situation.
Out of this bad situation.
a bad situation really got to you. My imagination trying to make the best of a bad situation really got to you. Ooh, my imagination, my imagination, my imagination, my imagination, my imagination.
Things really ain't. Things really ain't what they used to be. Like they were, not like they were. Things ain't what they used to be. Things really ain't what they used to be, not at all. They ain't what they used to be. Things ain't what they used to be. The blues ain't what it used to be. Things ain't what they used to be. Things ain't what they used to be. Things really ain't what they used to be. Things 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 ain't what they used to be. ain't what they used to be. Things ain't what they used to be. They ain't what they used to be. Yeah, they ain't what they used to be. Can't do that stuff no more. Can't do it no more. Things ain't what they used to be. Things ain't what they used to be. You can't do it. All that stuff you was doing before, you can't do it no more. Can't do it. Can't do it. Things ain't what they used to be. Things ain't what they used to be.
used to be. Underdogs or some shit.
That's right.
Things ain't what they used to be.
Things ain't what they used to be.
Things just ain't what
Not
they
like
used
New York
to
R&B. Things ain't what they used to be.
Things ain't what they used to
Not like New York R&B. Not like New York R&B.
be. They'll never be.
Not like.
Things ain't what they used to be. They'll never be.
Not like
They'll never
CT.
be. They'll never be. They'll never be. Things ain't what they used to be. They'll
Not
never
like
be.
They used to be. Not like CT. Jaimie Branch on trumpet and percussion. Devin Brahja Waldman on alto sax and percussion. Luke Stewart on bass and percussion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Arts for art. Keep holding on.
Much for the music. It was great. I loved it. I think this is a whole new project for you guys, right?
Yeah, especially we made it especially for this occasion. Thank you.
Well, I think it's worth, doing again. Although I don't know if every time you perform you'll have the dog there, but. All right, do you want to introduce the dog? All right. But let's get to the music. The Soul of Freedom. The Soul of Freedom. I really love the title. I think it works in so many ways. But that's, why don't you tell us about this? Luke Stewart.
Well,
tell us about it.
Well, first of all, thanks for putting together this theme of this series, which sparked this whole collaboration and that focus, that perspective on what is New York R&B. We went back to the beginning of in terms of the name, the title. We went back to that classic Cecil Taylor, Buell Nudlinger album, and got some of that vibe. And then,
in the way that soul music tends to speak to so many different times and issues and feelings, you know, we thought to draw some inspiration from various, you know, existing words and rehash them and, you know, play our own freedom soul spin on it.
Is this the first time you've sung in public, in performance?
I don't know, maybe. No, it's not. Definitely
It's not. Well, it was good. I have never heard you sing before.
Well, thanks. Well, you know, we had some help here.
Oh, no, I know. I'm only going to address one person at a time,
Okay.
unless you all want to do a group answer and then talk, you know, an ensemble answer. Is this, Jaimie, is this the first time you've sung in public? No. No, you sing, where have you sung before? See, I just haven't. You were singing? I guess I was. Well, you know, maybe I've not been the only one. What? Yeah, I do all things wrong myself, so, you know, you're right at home here. Tapping mics, tapping the floor, keeping time with the microphone. I understand. Yeah. Anyway, I thought the group was great, so but did you enjoy it? Tell me what is this? What is that? Sure, if you didn't enjoy it, you should have been doing it. So that's a stupid question. You know, it's a stupid question. Sometimes I don't ask good ones, so.
Be on your mic, Luke.
Sorry, we're just thankful to be here, and you know, this is a special time, obviously, for, you know, that's one way to put it. It's a special time, and you know, some of the words are cathartic to us, and you know, just the act of repeating those words and putting the vibe of the legacy of this music, you know, as well into our expression, you know, because we all represent that as well. So thank you.
Yeah, well, the thing that the recurring theme of this month has been like that the distinctions between the genres are distinctions that have more to do with business than to do with the music. That actually the distinctions are not supporting our creativity. So, you know, I'm really happy when anyone feels free enough to break through the boxes, so you can, because we're, as artists, so yeah, so tell me, instead of me answering my own questions, tell me, like, as artists, you know, what kind of constraints do you tend to feel that's out there, and how do you break through them? And what are the things that lock, you know, that you feel around you, like saying, oh, this is what you should do, this is what's cool, this is what's whatever box. Cool is a box, you know? Yeah. Everything's a box.
Yeah, everything's a box. I mean, if you're thinking in those terms, I think you're already kind of fucked, you know? Like if you're trying to, I think the real freedom is to be able to play what you're feeling, what you're hearing in that moment. I think the constraints come from what we were singing about, sometimes a lack of imagination, sometimes, you know, with singing in particularly, it can make you feel like physically, like your body could feel hot or something. I mean, because it's not like playing your horn or playing your bass that you've been playing. If it's not your first instrument, it can really jar you into some other areas you might not have gotten to any other way except to feel that moment of uncomfortability. So for me, one of the things that drives my like need to perform and stuff is that adrenaline rush, and one of the ways you get that rush is by going out further than you might be able to stay, might be able to running out, like being like Wile E. Coyote and like running off the cliff and just not looking down, and just running until you're at the other side. And I think, sometimes it just, makes for some interesting mistakes, and sometimes it makes for some really beautiful music, and I think both of them are really fun either way.
Yeah, because the mistake is just a point of view.
Well, I'm a big mistake, but like, no, I think the mistakes, I mean, they can feel bad, but they also have been like for me, some of my biggest learning experiences come from falling on my face.
Yeah. We learn so much from failure, but we try, and I think the world limits us enough. So we shouldn't limit ourselves. I think that's the essence of this music, is not to limit yourself, not to limit ourselves, and to have openness about the world and about creativity in general. And, again, we're dealing with enough out here, as who we are. So we shouldn't, sky is not the limit. There's further, much more beyond.
Amen. So, Devin, do you want to jump in on this, please?
Sure.
We got 2 microphones, so you can talk into either one.
So what would you like me to talk about?
I mean, the idea of limitation, the idea of moving beyond, the idea of this band. You could talk about any of it. How does the soul of freedom, what does it resonate to you? What does that title mean to you? Is it the title of the record, or is it the words separate, or is it this band? Or is it all of those things?
Wow,
To keep it simple.
Okay, limits. I limit myself, honestly. Like that's. So I'm in a performance, or not even in a performance necessarily, but just playing music. If I'm at home playing music alone, or whatever, in any given moment, I'll play something, and then I'll feel all of a sudden like something was contrived, or something didn't go right, or something sounded wrong, or something felt insincere, or it was like, and so that's how I limit myself with that I'm always kind of editing and listening as I'm doing it, and very critical, and so that's my limitation, to try to just play something and listen back, love it in the moment and listen back and still love it. That's the purity of expression. Like the first time I remember this feeling, I was very young, maybe 5 or something, and I was drawing this drawing, and it was a monster, and then I was like, I felt I needed to say more. So then I wrote, my monster is nice to people, but he is scared, but the people are scared of him. He is scared of the people, but he's scared of a lot of people. You see, right. So, and so but that was my first moment where I drew that and I wrote that, and I said, that's it. I never felt the need to go back and revise anything. And so I guess I've always been going for that moment where I can do something, say something, play something, and it was like the purity of a single thought that would express itself, and I don't need to sort of irritably reach to erase it later. So if I can feel that in life, then I don't know. Freedom is that's a big topic, right? And so, but I know that in music, I know that I believe in that, and I believe pursuing that, and this is how I do it. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
And I rarely do it. I rarely do it. Like I'm always.
You rarely do what?
I rarely get there. That's the thing, and it's like and so we're talking about failure. At some point, failure was mentioned. I dig that. Failure is something that honestly. There's been nothing more valuable than playing something, recording, listening to it, and feeling like, man, I gotta erase that as soon as possible, and then getting through that. But that's me, That's my thing. So, thanks for listening.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong or right in what, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. And so then there's so many rights of these things.
Right.
And maybe it's not what I meant. I guess it's not about wrong or right. It's just about...
Right, yeah, limitations.
Yeah, it's
so
about
those
limitations.
Are self-imposed. I guess I would say those are self-imposed, and I'm always trying to break through it. That's what I could say.
Break through, let's say break through to what?
To that feeling, that feeling of you said something and you can let it be. As you're playing it, it's perfect. It's like it's a space where I don't know how to describe it really. It's I guess euphoria when it's really when sound can do that, right? Yeah. And I feel transported by it, So it's kind of like a magical thing, and I'm just hoping always to get into it, and then it happens.
The only one thing I want to say in regards to what you're saying is that for the audience, it sometimes happens in a different place, because
Sure.
Actually I think the listener, as I always talk about, the listener is part of making the music. I don't know if it's true so much with live stream, and I'm looking forward to live, but even when you're listening, you're also hoping for that place, or a place, whatever, and sometimes it's in a different place than what you would find
Right.
to be your place.
Right.
It's just interesting. So personally, I'm not as attached to me being there,
Right.
As I used to be. Because sometimes they go there, and it's sort of humbling.
Right.
It's not all about us.
Right.
All right. Let's just look at how is it. All right, so we're talking about freedom. We're talking about soul. We're talking about this going to this place that we all wish we could be in more. But we live in this world. And so this has been a crazy time. I mean, but rather than talk about how dark it's been, because everyone knows it's just been horrible, the eternal optimist of me is gonna wants to ask about the future. So, like in 4 months from now, or 6 months from now, maybe next year. Really, by next year, what's it like? Tell me about next year.
Hopefully next year everything's, you know, I don't know. I don't want things to go back to normal.
No.
I'll just say that.
No,
You know,
if-
I don't want things to go back to normal.
No, normal was just was a half step before shit.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if people
It was
remember.
a preface to a lie preface to a lie.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully it'll be something better, if not working towards something better. You know, we're hopefully we're playing together more, and hopefully, you know, we're able to commune with each other more. But not in the same way that we did before, because we used to talk and, you know, bicker and, you know, and discuss all these issues that were going on before, you know, in terms of being a musician, you know, dealing with venues and dealing with, you know, bookings and promotions and, you know, $10 gigs and all these things, you know. First of all, that's not normal in all the ways that it is normalized. But I think we should, you know, we have to think about other ways of being in that space. We have to think about ways of, obviously one of the great things about this time is the opportunity for re-examination on everything. And that's one of the big ones for sure. You know, I think that for those of us who are playing music and promoting music and putting on shows in the community, you know, we should really think about the responsibility that is, and, you know, no more $10 gigs, period. I don't care how old you are or, you know, how many dues you've paid. You know, no more of that. You know, no more, yeah, just get back to business in the way that we know that it should be done, you know, like it's not.
So let's let's positively imagine for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Just say things, like anyone. Just say, what is it going to be like? What do you want it to be like?
What I'm hoping is like what I'm feeling myself is that when we get back to being able to make music together in the same room, that feeling is more overwhelming for everybody. That it's just like ecstatic. You know, we are ecstatic to be here because this shit has been taken away from us now for so long. A lot of times when we're in issues, like, I've never been in a pandemic before, but, you know, a lot of times we'll be able to, you know, at least we have the music. At least we can go to a show, you know, as fucked up as politics are, at least we can go and play about it. And that's been taken away, not just from the musicians, from everybody. And so, you know, I feel like what Luke's talking about, re-examination, has been a big part of what I've been up to. And I'm really excited to get back in rooms post-pandemic where now we're able to look at each other and tell each other how much we love each other because we know that it can all get ripped away. And I think that that's really important and something that we've taken, you know, not advantage, but hey, it's okay. We've like, you know, we don't, anything else? We don't want to go back to normal because there was a lot of apathy in normal. And there was a lot of, you know, what Luke's talking about, like to not keeping our standards and what we need high enough to live as musicians and things like that. All of these things, hopefully we come back and we're ready to rock on like just a higher plane of, you know. I think it's really good that everybody, like you guys have been like upping your a huge thing that, you know, a lot of venues are now going to be able to do live streams and simulcast stuff at the same time as the performance. So people that are across the country or people that are unhealthy and not able to leave the house are able to see a concert still. And the quality keeps getting better and better because people keep upping their game. And so that's what I'm envisioning, just like we're all back at it, but it's just we're punching higher, we're punching above our weight or something.
Absolutely. What you got, Devin?
Robots.
I mean,
Which is your favorite microphone?
I mean, I was just hoping one of them works. You know? But I don't know. There are a lot of things you said, like the distinction between what I would want and what maybe I imagine. Or I'm not optimistic, to be honest, like about everything that's happened since the pandemic and what I feel will remain in its wake. And I, you know, I'm not politically optimistic either, but I guess hope. You know, I know that we have to live with hope, right? Ultimately, or let's say it's very hard not to live without it. So I think that can come from a lot of different places. For me, it's not the macroeconomics or macro politics or the social trends or any. Really, it's not. It's more people around me. Something maybe if I can. I think we probably a lot of us probably or all of us probably went through different kind of extremes during this time, mentally, whatever, and so what I guess I'm learning a lot, you know, and I guess I have hope to grow as a person, and that I can help people around me, you know. So that's what I would like to see, you know, people looking out for each other.
Oh yeah.
From my perspective, or from my experience, because, you know, that's what you get when you get older. Lots and lots of it.
It's a blessing.
Oh, yeah. Woohoo! You know, I think the thing about optimism is basically an act of faith. It's like, because you don't know, but pessimism is also an act of faith. You believe, you believe only crap is going to happen. So you might as well, if you're going to have faith, you might as well have it be positive. And the thing is, if enough people imagine enough good things, it's sort of the power of our imagination makes us act in a way. So we can, therefore, begin to manifest more of what we want. You have to deal with disappointment. There's just no getting around it. People let you down. Institutions, well, they're not even, you hope for the best, and they definitely going to let you down. But
They let themselves down.
yeah, and that's the thing. But it's the act of believing in the possibility of good stuff happening. And so, like, one of the things you were getting at, the joy, Jaimie was referring to the unbounded joy of, like, at last getting together, seeing a bunch of people sharing the creativity with a field of audience members, you know, just wow. That'll be amazing. And I actually, I mean, the Roaring '20s came after the last pandemic, by the way.
And after the First World War.
Yeah. So it was a release. There might be something like that. But I think, and that'll be
after the Roaring '20s.
Right.
But that's, you know, what's more important, what's more substantial is the thing is that, like, what you talked about loving, that the sense of loving each other, remembering that And like some of the artists and some of the audience members are struggling with depression because that's
course.
easy right now. It's an easy emotion to be feeling.
I wouldn't say it's easy.
Well, I mean,
But
it's well, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but
Yeah, it's not fun. It just happens without you making an effort to make it happen. That's what I meant.
Yeah, absolutely.
creeps in.
And
Our lives have been changed.
yeah, our lives have been
Every
turned
day is a
upside
different day.
down.
Good Lord. You know, every day is different. Have you been sleeping well? I've been sleeping irregularly.
Well, I was for a long time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've sort of, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been getting more in touch with my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was, never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Never mind. It was a great thing for me. I'm dancing more.
Beautiful.
I'm starting to write.
Of course.
That's because there was somehow, I don't know why exactly, but when that started happening, then I started sleeping better.
That's great.
But you know, I know it's you know, being able to support each other, and then you see someone struggling, you know, and then you reach out, because that's a joy. It's a joy to reach out, and you know, it's hard for some people to ask. I think it's hard for most people to ask, actually.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard it is hard to see somebody struggling, you know. We're very good at hiding it.
Yeah.
We're very good at hiding our struggles. So, you know, who really knows what's going on with people? That's why we just have to be patient with each other, you know. And if it gets real bad, then seek some help.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully you feel comfortable enough or uncomfortable enough to ask for help.
The other day,
But that's, you know, that's a thing too. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's trust.
the other day, well, I heard one artist telling another artist saying, hey, all we got is community. And so, you know, he was telling him, you know, if you need,
Well, what's community right now? What is that right now?
you know, people you call on the phone. It's hopefully, it's what I try to be that. I try to create opportunities for that as an organizer. You know, but there's always more to do than I possibly can do. But it's something I profoundly believe in. Just.
Of course.
And it really, what I think it really means is that there's an opportunity for many people to help each other. It's not an opportunity for an organization to help everybody. I mean, you try to do your best that way, but it's, by calling it a community, it's an invitation to help each other. It doesn't have to go to me or Todd or anyone. It goes to each, you know, direct. And
That's true.
And like if the creativity that we try to reach for is flowing through every one of us. So it's sort of like the invisible connector.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a good way to think of it. I think, you know, I hope that inspires us to reach out to our community more.
To our people more.
Yeah, reach out to folks more.
Because there is, like, you know, it is a connector. Even when you're listening to somebody play, like listening to someone's record, I think about that person. And maybe that person feels it because, you know, the universe is magical, but maybe they don't. And maybe, you know, it is something like I listen to your record, you call someone up just like, hey, man, you know. And just checking in with each other more. Something I kept thinking about with what you guys were just talking about.
Yeah.
You know, asking for help is one thing, but also checking in with each other. And I think, you know, ideas of community are, I think community is strong. And I think that even though we're going through a really stressed time where we're not actually in the physical, we're not physically together, I think that we're still connected with each other, you know. I don't think there's any getting around that either. It's like kind of for better and for worse.
Makes you feel good when you remember that. It makes me, when I get a sign from someone that they give a damn, it warms my heart.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And when, you know, people give a sign that they don't give a damn, it crushes your heart. And it's like, well, who knows? Who knows? I think that's a painful thing. It's kind of cruel in a way, you know, but it's all good.
When someone acts like they don't give a damn, it's probably because they give too much of a damn. Just FYI. You know, it's like they're otherwise they wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? It's it depends.
It depends.
It depends.
I think it
That's-
depends.
yes. There's two kinds of I don't give a damn. The one where they just step over you in the street or kick you. No, yeah, and the ones who turn their back on you because they're, you know, they're hiding their tears.
Yeah, good. Or good.
Or their frustrations or just their
Yeah.
own, you know.
I was joking.
Yeah.
They're not hiding their tears. It's, yeah.
But you
Might
know,
be.
again, we got this
Sometimes.
is a time for patience with our folks. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
I feel like, Luke, at the beginning of the pandemic, you were talking about how this was an inspiring time, and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like trying to get there with you so bad. And I mean, you kind of explained it to me a little bit, but like, I don't know, might be worth.
Yeah, I mean, you did the smartest thing of all of us. I don't know if you want that out there, but you know you did your thing.
Yeah.
But
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you know, it's in terms of lockdown. You know, I'm obviously, you know, in terms of locking down, I'm a fortunate person to have been locked down in a good, positive, mostly positive situation, and you know, had the space and the room to feel that inspiration from being within myself, and you know, going back to sort of the original inspiration of becoming a musician, the original passion,
Yeah.
and you know, just the sheer love of like being alone in your room with the music, you know, when you're a teenager or whatever. I think that was the opportunity that we had forced upon us, but you know, again, not everybody has that luxury, obviously, with their home situations, with wherever it is that they live. You know, that's, you know, people are obviously, there's been all kinds of cases of, you know, in addition to heightened depression, you know, heightened abuse, and you know, all sorts of, like, you know, bad things going on in the home. But you know, I'm just thankful to have the space mentally to be able to be inspired like that, to be inspired by the original passion, to be inspired by the social unrest, you know, to be inspired to do something, you know, to be inspired to join, you know, join my comrades, you know, and feeling even a sense of duty to do that, you know. I was talking to somebody earlier, you know, what in this time of this pandemic and lockdown, for those who can, You know, it's our duty to go outside. You know, one of the failures of earlier generations is that they went inside after, you know, and I'm talking about in terms of the narrative, one of the narratives of the post-60s world is that, you know, after the tumults of the 60s and the hammer came down basically in the 70s, you know, everybody went inside. Everybody retreated to a certain extent. But now it's not the time to do that, pandemic or not. For those who can, again, you know, there are a lot of people obviously dealing with serious health issues, but those who are not and are just afraid, that's, you know, it's our duty as creative people to go outside and to be there and to be inspired and to show and to spread inspiration by going outside safely, figure out how to do this safely, because this is going to be around, you know, for a long time in some form or fashion, vaccine or not. This is going to be around for a long time. So we have to figure out as soon as possible how to live with this thing.
I don't. You tempt me with politics, Luke. It's just.
You gonna go there?
One thing I think a really smart friend of mine said was that this time doesn't feel like the middle of something. It feels like an ending, or it feels like a beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think, you know, we got to go with that energy, you know. I tend to like to think of it as a beginning rather than an ending, but
Well,
not a
endings are
middle. It's not a
beginnings.
middle.
Endings are beginnings. It's the same thing, just like the term.
Sure, yeah. But there is a certain energy about putting something to rest or putting something to bed versus like starting anew.
Right.
But there are a lot of things that need to get put to bed and dismantled as well. So, you know, I feel like either way, just go at it hard, because it's not Middle Ages right now.
From my perspective of time, what a mistake, if you want to call it that, because time, you know, people's choices are people's choices, and they have complex repercussions. But I think in the 60s, well, in the 70s and 80s, most people, even people who thought of themselves as left of center, whatever, you know, all these stupid things about, anyway, they basically believe, most people believe in the American dream, and by the American dream, I mean the idea that success is something that comes with a certain kind of pay level, a certain kind of recognition. But if you're getting recognition from something that is basically corrupt and has bad values, then is that form of success so valuable? I mean, I just, you know, pose that as a question to ponder upon, because otherwise our success and failure is in somebody else's hands. And it's not that, of course, we have to be able to, you know, work hard. We want to have a decent, you know, want to have a roof over our heads. We want to have food to eat. You know, we want to do what we have to do. But the American dream of, you know, more and more stuff in the house that we don't necessarily need, you know, whatever applause you get from institutional applause, how is that really valuing what it is that we really, as creative beings, is it really meaningful to that creative part of yourself, or only the part of yourself that's saying, you know, you were brought up like, you know, look, Mom, I got this degree, that degree, this a citation, that citation. So now I really exist. Before I was just a figment of my imagination, but now I've got proof. Or is it like just, you know what that's all I'm saying. But I mean, I think we have to try to get some success in this world because we do have rent to pay and bills to pay, and that is the world we live in. But I sense, yes, I agree with you. Thank you. But our idea of success should be more personal at least. And the respect we give each other. Like people, you know, like coming up and saying to William Parker, for example, who I know quite well, you know, oh, you play the real thing. This is by much more quote-unquote successful musicians who do not help in any way, except to give them that, oh yeah, you play the real thing. What in the blah, 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 you know, that, what is that about? Just, that is a lot of bullshit, if you ask me. That's what that is. I mean, that's like a weird game.
Musicians play all kinds of games. People play all kinds of games in general.
Yeah, some games are fun for them, and other games not so much.
Yeah.
Fun for us.
I mean, you can't let your, I mean, it's all ego. That's all ego-driven stuff. I mean, as far as like institutional, I mean, like if you get a shout out from the New York Times and then 100 or 200 more people hear your music, there is something to that, you know.
Yeah,
there is a real thing about that. But the accolades, that's nothing. That's a hollow thing as far as opposed to like the truth of the music and the sound of your instrument. Like to me, that's like, you know, the A1A most fulfilling. That's the whole thing, is that sound and that vibration and what it does to our bodies, what it does to our brains, what it does to the world around us. That's the real shit. My landlord still doesn't accept it, but I'm working on it. But you know, there are other ways to like there's the real thing, there's the thing that we do, and then there's like all the extra musical shit. And there's a lot of that. And there's everything from musicians playing games to getting a grant, but now your music sucks, you know? Right. Because, I mean, people have different needs, and there's a lot of confusion because, you know, you get congratulated most oftentimes on the things that really don't mean as much. I don't know.
It's like you say, each accolade, you know, allows, hopefully, you know, if it's serving that its purpose, it allows a few more people to hear your music, hear where you're coming from, right. You know. Hopefully it'll lead to another opportunity to make more music, right. and reach more people. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's you know, meaningless.
Well, there's another side to it too.
Success, yeah.
And that's like if you, every time you play, for example, a B flat, everyone bursts into applause. Let's say, oh wow, B flat, my favorite. Did you hear her play that B flat? And they just, so then you're gonna start to feel, I have to play B flats more often.
That's what I think happens with grants. I mean, you know, that's what I think happens with grants. You know, you write one thing one way, you get money for it, and now you're like, that's what I have to do to get this next check. Right. And that's a trap.
That's a trap. And if you're, you want to hold on to it. I'm sorry.
It's also, whoever said this to Mr. Parker about how you play the real thing, perhaps they found themselves in a common musical trap, which is, you know, getting the success, quote unquote, of playing some music that you don't really dig that much, you know, whereas that person might feel some kind of way in the sense that, you know, obviously Mr. Parker has paved his own way, you know, in doing the things that doing many of the things that he wants to do, you know, in terms of the music. And so that person might, whoever said that, you know, might feel trapped in their thing, where like they're playing some, whatever it is that they're playing, but not feeling as fulfilled as they probably would be had they spent, you know, decades of their life and energy into doing what they really wanted to do with the music.
Right. And so they hold on tight to the money. Just saying. Anyway, yeah.
Sounds like that was a very specific.
They hold. Just, you know. But I think that I think we should wrap up soon because it's getting late. And I've got to take down my Christmas tree tonight. I still got my Christmas tree up. So I got to do that tonight. So, and I think other people want to move on. So is there anything else you want to say before we close shop? Anybody?
It felt really, really great to play with you guys tonight, man. And thank you, Patricia and Arts for Art. Like, playing in the same room with people, it's like I've been playing a lot of solo music. And it was really good for me tonight.
I love the band. I really did. I think it's worth developing, and I think it's, you know, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, for having us, for organizing these shows. So keeping us going. And
Yeah.
thanks to Luke and Jaimie. And
Kuma.
this little Kuma, my dude. So and Eric and Zach.
Yeah.
So
I have to make a pitch here. We have 4 more days of the Artists and Friends campaign, which is based on the concept of community, actually. And it's our major fundraiser of the year in many ways. And we have 4 days left. I am so thankful to all of you who have given. And I'm still excited to wait to see who else can give because we have 4 days left. It's over on Sunday night. So please give whatever you can. And also each one of these events is, you know, costs a certain amount of money. And like over $1,000 about to do everything. So, you know, please donate because that's like makes you part of it too, you know, because. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Luke
Donate
Stewart,
to Arts
Devin
for
Brahja Waldman, Jaimie
Art
Branch.
for art. Arts
All
for
right.
art.
Arts for Art.
All right, that's it till next Tuesday.